Good morning, Wind Chasers. Welcome to another episode of Chasing the Wind. I am Pastor Mark, and I want to talk to you about Prairie, Blue Eyes, and Godly Surprises. Oh, now the intrigue has increased. Who is this Prairie Blue Eyes of which you speak? We know not of her. Well, let me tell you who she is. Last night, I have a kind of hefty, spacious driveways. I have a long driveway with a big parking area on it. And I have, because my road can be a little bit busy and people are texting when they're driving, please don't do that. Or zip by you because they're in such a hurry and almost hit you. I like to walk my driveway. So I do about 10 loops around my driveway. I'm sure it's like 5 miles. No, it's not that much, but I tell myself that so I feel like I've walked a great distance. Anyway, kind of near coming off our porch, a little along the walkway going out to our driveway, our parking area, is a flower bed that my wife and I have brought. We have had these daylilies. I'm a big daylily fan. We have had these daylilies, some of them, since we lived in Illinois. And we've been married 29 years. And so we've been carting these things around for about 27 years, which is really cool to me. And there is one that I bought. I actually bought one in Kansas. It was called, when we lived in Kansas, it was called Prairie Blue Eyes. It's kind of a purplish blue daylily, really pretty blue, pretty daylily. And so we had this planted, and I brought it with me, and I thought it died. Now, you got to really work hard to kill a daylily. You just do. But I was sure this thing was gone. And so last time I'm walking, and I look over, and some of our daylilies are blooming. One type of daylily that we have is called a purple d'ora. And they're blooming. And so, I looked, and this purple flower was not on with the other flowers. And I looked at it again. I thought, that's not a purple d'ora. And I looked at it again, closer, stopped my walk, went over and looked, and alas, isn't that a good word? Alas! Now you got your attention. Prairie Blue Eyes was looking at me. Two lone blossoms looking at me, and I was super stoked because we've lived in this house for 9 years. In the 9 years we've lived in this house, they have not bloomed. Matter of fact, like I said, I thought they had died. They were goners. So it got me thinking, number one, how God is so good to us and just blesses us out of the blue with things, and just like, hey, look at this. Surprise, give you a gift. And then there's other times when I also looked at, this was what came to my mind was, there's kind of a joke in our house that if something doesn't bloom when it's supposed to, it's gone. I've been threatening a blueberry bush in our blueberry patch that if it doesn't bloom, it's gone. This is like year 4. It has not bloomed. It has not had a berry on it. It has not produced. This might be the year. Made me think about that story that Jesus tells in Luke 13. And we get a little impatient, don't we, with things? Boy, I do. Learning patience. As a friend of mine reminded me, the first thing in 1 Corinthians 13 is love is patient. Whew. Boy, and I'll tell you, if you get married, you'll find out love is patient, because you got to learn to be patient with each other. And I guess it's probably that way with kids too. It's certainly that way with dogs. By the way, a dog is a dog. Same thing there. We are in a society that wants everything now. I reference not walking on my road because people texting, or they're in a hurry and they won't move over. It's crazy. We can also give up hope pretty quick on people, can't we? I sometimes tell the story about how many times I told God, I'm just done, Lord. I'm just done. I'm just done. He goes, yeah, are you? Are you done? So we can get on and move on, because I needed to be done with your whining, and so we can get on with stuff. Fine. I go from done to fine. Now, you can judge me if you want, but you do the same thing, so it's okay. So, the Lord lets us have our frustrations. So it just reminded me that sometimes we just have to, we don't know what God's doing. It took 9 years for Prairie Blue Eyes to show her face, and then all of a sudden, boom, there she is. And you know what? Here's what's really cool. In 2022, and I was reflecting on this, I'm going to get to the story. I'll tell you the story of the fig tree thing I was wanting to, but I was reflecting on this year so far. And last night as I was praying on my front porch and talking to God about this, and I thought, losing my mom in January, have my own surgery, and then going into COVID, and my wife and I had COVID. It wasn't bad, but it was a distraction more than anything. A recent things with my brother, there was a scare we were going to lose him. Not to mention all just the political climate we're in and just the divisiveness and everything else. And it was all, like God just said, hey, see, I'm not done. Old Prairie Blue Eyes has been sitting there doing her thing. And I gifted you with those blossoms. Now the blueberry's coming out pretty much, but that's beside the point. That's another story. She's had her time and she hasn't done anything. So here's the story from Luke chapter 13. I'm going to pick it up in verse 6. He told this parable. And just remember, a parable is an earthly story with a heavenly meaning. A man had a fig tree, planted it in his vineyard. He went to look for fruit on it, but did not find any. So he said to the man who took care of the vineyard, for 3 years now I've been coming looking for fruit on this fig tree and haven't found any. Cut it down! Why should it use up the soil? Boy, there's something in there. Sir, the man replied, leave it alone for 1 more year. I'll dig around it and fertilize it, and if it bears fruit next year, fine. If not, then cut it down. So there is a time when you get to cut it down, but sometimes you just got to leave things there. Is it bamboo, they say, takes 10 years to start growing, and then all of a sudden it grows like quick? That's why I like to grow amaryllis, because they shoot up. You can watch them grow almost. We want things so fast. We need to remember, you can put all the ingredients into a pot to make soup, but it ain't soup until it's simmered a bit. Some things just got to let simmer, and we get impatient. So, wind chasers, I'm going to just encourage you to, before you start cutting things down, maybe just wait a little bit longer. See, maybe God's doing something. You're also going to have to ask the Lord, is it time to cut down? Because maybe it is. Seek the Lord on that. But what a blessing it is when God says, hey, look here what I'm doing. So anyway, wind chasers, I'm going to leave it there. I will catch you the next time on Chasing the Wind. Until then, grace and peace. Keep chasing the wind, because the wind is chasing you.